96 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sportstime. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're Sportstime. We're with you for the next 2.5 hours today. A short show for us as Ole Miss baseball. They're in action tonight against Arkansas State. That game starting at 6 o'clock. So we're going to get out of here 30 minutes early for a pregame show. They'll start at 5:30. So a quick show for us, but plenty to get to. NFL draft talk is in full effect now as it is quickly, snuck up on us. It sneaks up on me every single year, but here it is. Next Thursday night, we'll have the first round. So a lot of talk about that. A lot of NBA talk with the playoffs, the play-ins starting tonight. We'll make our picks in the next segment. Obviously, college basketball and now college football with the transfer portals open now in both. It is a crazy, crazy time. So plenty to get to in this shortened show. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing very well, and tonight in New Orleans, it should be towel waving time for them. I don't know how much an indicator this really is, but right now you pop up ESPN, and the cheapest ticket in New Orleans tonight, $21.
Well, I mean, that's a shocker, but I guess if you want to go to the game, tickets available.
Tickets available, and the reason why I don't think under any banner from way back to the Jazz to now that it's really taken off in New Orleans is they've really never had a great playoff March. You have to do it. That's where the root grows deep. I've talked about it with the Grizzlies here and the percentage of time the Grizzlies have made the playoffs since being in Memphis, and I think it's more than anybody. Most people would have signed up for it on the day the Pursuit team landed on nailing the Grizzlies. In New Orleans, it just has never happened. The building doesn't have a great feel to it in New Orleans. But we know that's not it. Right. If they were good and they're rolling through the playoffs, you could put that building on the other side of Lake Pontchartrain. People would go.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. So that is really shocking to me that $21 ticket for a play-in game tonight.
The Lakers.
Yeah. That's another great point. It's not like you're going up against
that LeBron's playing tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're going up against the whoever crummy team that just barely made the play-in and isn't
on a Tuesday
good.
night in January.
Right. This is a big-time game against a big-time team, so that is a shocker. But it's going to be fun. Obviously, Zion, since he's been healthy while he's been playing for this Pelicans team, has been really good. He's added a lot to this team. The Lakers on the other side, able to jump from 10 up to 8 to get into this position, and so you win tonight. I've heard a lot of people, and I know we'll talk about this probably a little bit more in our next segment when we actually make the picks and stuff, but I've heard a lot of people trying to talk about, well, maybe the Lakers want to lose this game so that they don't have to play the Nuggets in the first round, and then they can win the next game, and so then they're matched up against Oklahoma City.
Be real careful.
That's where I don't like that.
Be
because
real careful.
I want to, if I have an opportunity of 2 games and I win one of them and I'm in, I would rather win that first one so I don't have to worry about a win-or-go-home situation. So if I'm the Lakers, I go out and try my best to win this game tonight.
Bryant, you played a lot of youth baseball, didn't you? Travel baseball?
Absolutely.
And how many times, however the bracket winds out, and you go into that last day of the tournament, Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, and that other team, they have to beat you twice to win it. They're already in the loser bracket. And how many times does it not work out? It's the sports equivalent of trying to find the switch to turn on and turn off.
Yeah.
You better be careful messing around with that switch.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And I get it. Who really wants to face the defending champion Nuggets who, have been playing really well. And, the only reason that they aren't the number 1 seed is because they dropped a game late in the season and it was super close to the top. I understand that. But again, if I can lock up my being in the playoffs. I want to do that tonight, get it over with. Who cares who I see in that first round? Rather than trying to be strategic and say, okay, well, we can lose tonight. We'll just win that next game, because you're right. It makes it very hard, and very seldomly does it work out for them. And
even in sports with series like the NBA had, best of 7, best of they only have best of 7. There's no best of 5 remaining. Mm-hmm. There was a time NBA even had 2 out of 3.
How about that?
Had 3 out of 5,
wow.
and I think when Denver, as the 8, upset the number 1 Denver Nuggets in 1994 in that indelible photo of Dikembe Mutombo clutching the ball, that was the end of it for Stern. I'm making everything 7. I don't want my top teams knocked out, because he's rolling out a TV show. He's rolling out big money. I don't think that means they have a thumb on the scale whatsoever, but sometimes you wonder. But he wants the best at the end for his product. You see it in baseball. How many times that team up 3-1 in the best of 7, and they relax a little bit. And you look up, and it's 3-3, and then you look up, and all the pressure's on you. Today we're going to talk a lot about the late, great Whitey Herzog, and he won 1 World Series, came back from 3-2 down in that one against the Brewers in 1982, but in 1985 was up 3-1 against Kansas City, his old team, and here come the Royals. And in 1987 was up 3-2, heading back to Minneapolis to the Metrodome, and lost both games there to lose that series. The Cardinals kind of famous for that. 1968, up 3-1 over the Detroit Tigers, and a series of things went horribly wrong, including a huge Mike Shannon era, and Lou Brock stood when he should have slud, as Dizzy Dean said.
Yeah, so that was definitely sad news this morning, hearing about Whitey's passing. And I know I was watching a lot of clips from St. Louis where, news and stuff, they're covering it. Obviously, big news this morning. But yeah, I mean, playoffs are weird, and I think it's going to be a weird NBA playoff this year. But I think both of these games tonight, Lakers and Pelicans, and then Kings and Warriors, are both extremely fascinating, and kind of how do they match up against each other? How will this sort itself out? And then tomorrow night, you've got, a 76ers team that is now healthy and has Joel Embiid, the MVP from last season. So, I think both these nights are going to be really, really entertaining with basketball.
Just minutes ago, I heard Colin Cowherd make a point that I agree with about the 76ers down the stretch of the year record. Mm-hmm. It was largely in throwaway time. Sure. Cabanas rented, everybody making plans. Sure. Mostly we have to do this because the games are scheduled, and no way tickets were printed, and they beefed up down the stretch. We're really going to see.
Sure,
tomorrow.
Yeah, and this is going to be kind of all the talk. I mean, you hear a lot of people talking about now that now that Philadelphia is healthy, look out, and so this will definitely prove it. Are they as good as they were at the beginning of the season? How are they as good as they were playing late in the season, or was that just kind of the throwaway? So they've got to win and get into the playoff, but I think a tough out for any team that has to draw them in the first round. Maybe not the Celtics though, because the Celtics have seemed to be pretty unbeatable this year. It
sure feels like we're going to go through this span of April to mid to late June, and eventually get down to having a ceremony on the parquet in Boston.
Yeah. No, I mean, it feels like that.
But along the way.
Yeah.
A twist here, a turned ankle there.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it in the past. It can, very quickly go from, it's the Celtics to lose to, don't
they just lost
now,
it.
But the Celtics are in trouble, and then the Celtics have lost it. So I'm really excited, and I
am too.
I love where we've kind of gotten in terms of these play-in games where it was new. A lot of people didn't really want to buy into it, and now we're kind of sitting here going, can't wait for it. Let's go. 2 nights of really winning in basketball, and I guess 4 nights when you throw in both conferences. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's worked. The critics say you just played from October to now to eliminate 10 teams.
Sure.
Well, we're going to quickly eliminate 2 more.
That's right. That's right.
Quickly.
So I mean,
and a couple of them are going to land at 7 and 8 seeds, and give them 2 more weeks. And there's always plenty to criticize if you want to. Sure. And I think sometimes the NBA gets that a lot of others don't. I don't think it's entirely fair. Mostly, what Adam Silver has done in replacing the gigantic shoes of David Stern, I think he's done well.
Yeah, no, I think he's done an unbelievable job and has been
to stay in business through the bubble and COVID.
Oh man, I mean, just really tough, and he's done a great job. And it seems like the players like and respect him, the fans like and respect him.
Have labor harmony.
Yeah, so I mean, it
talking expansion.
Sure, I mean, in terms of you look around at all of the professional leagues and look at all of the commissioners out there. I mean, it's hard to argue that what the NBA has going right now, I mean, from top to bottom, I think their commissioner is probably the best out of all of the major leagues in terms of players like him, fans like him. It doesn't seem like there's many issues.
Well, for franchise value, you got to go to the NFL.
Well, yes, but in terms
on
of
the likability front.
Yes, just talking about commissioner, I think the NBA has it down.
Yeah, Johnny, I'll bring it up next week again. Next week is the last time those players with the big first-round bro hug with Roger Goodell, that's the last time they say a good word about him the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Right.
He's the competitor from then on.
Yeah,
in labor negotiations with the players' union, with everything around them, he's the prince of darkness from the hugs next week on. The next time they hug him is if any of them are fortunate enough to get to Canton.
Yeah,
that is true. That's a real great point. That's a real great point.
Roger Goodell's got
That's a real great point.
Man, I don't get another hug from y'all ever again.
Big bear hug and then radio silence.
And how many next week out of the first round will make it to Canton?
No,
2?
Many, yeah.
Never. Yeah. That's a tight road to get there now.
That's not easy.
That's a tight road.
It's not.
Johnny, it's one of my favorite sayings. I love when everybody kind of preaches at me about it. They don't call it the Hall of Good. They call it the Hall of Fame.
You got to be very different.
Famous.
Yes. You got to be that.
And today also, remember, I think it was just last Friday. When were we talking with Bruce Marshall about the A's situation? And I asked him his favorite Oakland A. Was it last Friday or the previous Friday?
I think it was the Friday before.
Might have been. Were you out that Friday? I think it was.
I was, yeah.
And he mentioned Gene Tennis, who was MVP of the 72 World Series, and then part of the 82 Cardinals with Whitey Herzog on that championship team. And I said my favorite Oakland A ever was Kenny Holtzman. Well, Kenny Holtzman passed away yesterday as well. And in the history of bad Cub trades, almost nothing tops Brock for Brolio.
Wow.
And trading Rafael Palmeiro and trading Joe Carter and trading some others. Trading Kenny Holtzman was, I think they got Rick Mundy back, but he really wasn't that good with them. He got good with the Dodgers.
Sure.
But I like Ken Holtzman a lot. And in reading of his passing, I would have bet and lost a lot of money on this. In the history of Jewish pitchers in the big leagues, I would have bet my house, my retirement, all the money and all the gold in Fort Knox that it had to be Sandy Koufax.
Sure.
It was Ken Holtzman.
Wow.
Ken Holtzman, the winningest Jewish pitcher ever in baseball history. I would have lost everything on that one. And Ken Holtzman, after the DH came in and they were doing the whole at home for the American League, they would play DH, and on the road, National League, they'd play National League rules. Ken Holtzman was such a good hitting pitcher, hit a home run or two in the World Series while pitching great for the Oakland A's. But we will talk a lot about Whitey Herzog today. I think most people would sign up right now with 92 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the friends and the associates that he made along the way. I'm at Baseball Reference right now looking it up. I don't know who dubbed him Whitey, but it stuck. White Rat, Whitey Herzog. His birth name, one of those three names, four name guys.
Yeah.
Darrell Norman Elvert Herzog.
I think Whitey fits him more.
Whitey fit perfectly.
Yes.
And if you were watching opening day for the Cardinals and he couldn't be involved in the parade and they just showed him up in the skybox, you saw him very aged, very frail, and kind of feared that it could be soon, and it has been. But he was great. When the Cardinals won it in '82, they win it like on a Wednesday. I think, a Wednesday night. That following weekend, that Saturday, Arkansas is playing football in Fayetteville, and Whitey Herzog's in Fayetteville at the game with the Anheuser-Busch distributor, the McBride family in Fayetteville, and was making his rounds and treated like conquering hero.
I bet.
Because then Fayetteville was rock solid Cardinal country.
That's awesome.
I don't know that it is anymore. I think the Rangers and the Royals have probably encroached a little in Northwest Arkansas. I don't know that, but it feels like it kind of has.
Sure. No, absolutely. Yeah, well, and I think that afternoon game for the home opener for the Cardinals, I think I was driving back up here during all the festivities, so I didn't even know he was at the game. And I was watching or reading something earlier today, and they said that he was at opening day just a couple weeks ago, but obviously didn't participate in the festivities, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, I mean, that is crazy. So really, really sad news today of his passing.
But such a fun era, and fun for me in the 80s and all the winning. And he had won big with Kansas City, but couldn't get past the big bad Yankees and Reggie Jackson, and finally kind of mutually agreed to step aside in Kansas City. And then they got their over the Cardinals with Dick Hauser in '85, and no, I've never forgotten it. I'm still bitter.
Well, hey, it's all right.
That was one of those 3-1s.
That's right.
A great story about that. About after winning at '80. Another great story about Whitey Herzog in '82. We'll get to this later.
Sure.
But I want to tell it now. So he wins it in '82, and 2 or 3 weeks later, the venerable owner of the Cardinals, Gussie Busch, of Anheuser-Busch fame, 80-something years old at the time, and he just loved Whitey and invited him out to Grant's farm to drink beer and relax. And it was a unusually warmer November day, and they're sitting out in those gardens and pool area out there. Looks like something out of a French villa. I mean, it's just unreal. And they're sitting out there. So he's about 80, and I'm going to say then Whitey was probably 50. So 80 and 50. And they said, Gussie Busch said, Whitey, you've done such a good job with the team. I want to give you a lifetime contract. And they said, without blinking, Whitey Herzog said, your life or my life? The rest of your 80 years, the rest of my 50 years. Where'd I sign?
That's great. Wow. Yeah, there's some really good stories coming out about Whitey Herzog today with that passing. Definitely sad, but some really, really good stories about him. You mentioned it. We'll come back and talk more about him and some more baseball a little bit later. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, NBA playoffs. They're here. Play-ins tonight, but obviously part of the playoffs now. We'll make our picks for the play-ins tonight and also the playoffs going forward. So we'll do all of that at 3:30. Talk a little bit about some of these first-round matchups as well at 3:30. 3:45, we'll get back into baseball and the passing of Whitey Herzog. Talk a little bit more about him and what's going on in Major League Baseball. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard. He'll join us from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. Talk some college football. We had a ton of spring games over the weekend. And then this morning, welcome back to the transfer portal. A lot of guys jumping in after spring practice and, kind of how things shaked out for them, maybe thinking time to move somewhere else. So we'll have to talk a lot about that at 4 o'clock. 4:30, NFL Draft. It's right around the corner. So we'll talk a lot about the draft, some of the news coming out with some of those top picks. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant. He'll join us to talk the NFL, a lot of NFL draft talk with him, and also just off-season talk in general. We'll talk to him about 18 or 19 minutes. Then we'll get to an early Taco Bell crunch time around that time. Get out of here right before 5:30 as we lead you into Ole Miss at Arkansas State pregame. That first pitch set for 6 o'clock. Well, let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Factory direct pricing, it's on now for swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it. Buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill. We're Sports Time, only with you till about 5:30 today for Ole Miss and Arkansas State baseball. But as always, you can text or call us at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin phone and text line, and all our guests will appear on that same number, 901-360-8255, at the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for a luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the play-ins kicking off tonight on TNT. Lakers and Pelicans will get us started at 6:30 right now on ESPN Bet. New Orleans a 1.5-point favorite over the Lake Show. And then 9 o'clock also on TNT, Warriors and Kings for chance to stay alive. Loser of that game goes home. The winner advances to match up against the loser of the Lakers and Pelicans. Right now, Golden State a 2.5-point favorite on ESPN Bet. So both those games should be really, really fun. I was looking at these two games, and yesterday I noticed that this Golden State and Sacramento series has been really close this year. 2-2 right now in the 4 times they've played this season, and 3 of their 4 games have been decided by 1 point. So if we get a game like that tonight in Sacramento, I mean,
sign me up.
Look out. It will be a fun night of basketball. We'll have the Eastern Conference 2 games tomorrow night on ESPN, so those will be fun. I know a lot of talk right now about the 76ers, but we'll see who can come out and secure that 7 seed tonight between the Lakers and the Pelicans. Vegas says New Orleans will get it done, but I think there's a lot of people out there that think LeBron James and AD will step up to the test to secure that 7 spot.
And when we pick, tonight is and tomorrow night's big.
Sure.
It will all but win it because we're going to have a lot of group locks.
Yeah.
You know, when the 1s play the 8s and the 2s play the 7s.
Yep.
Might have 1 or 2 people take a 6 over a 3, but not many. And, you know, the NBA kind of stays to grid.
Yep.
Maybe not game by game, but series to series, it does. And I'm afraid my unbridled sports hatred is going to cost me today on the picks.
Really?
In no way I'm picking Golden State.
Oh,
I
man.
want it to end tonight,
Oh,
and
man.
they don't win another title for 1,000 years.
Well, we'll see what takes over for you. Will it be your sports hate or not? Time should tell.
And Brad, I can tell you, I'm going to lose it over baseball soon.
Well, Brett, I mean, you've done so good. I mean, it's been a great run.
I ain't got out of April. It's terrible.
You've been doing so good. You've been doing so good, Brad.
It's April 16th.
I mean, I'm not even to first base.
Well, you're like halfway to first base. You're getting ready to make start rounding first
That
base.
yesterday, and I texted you. So we couldn't have all-day baseball because
right.
we didn't want to have them play 2, maybe 3 days in a row.
Sure.
So box score says 5,000 in Oakland. Box score said 8,000 in Miami. Box score said 12,000 in Detroit. Those 3 sites didn't have 12,000 total at them yesterday. But no, we couldn't play it in the afternoon, could we?
No. Got to have them at night, Brett. Got to be night.
Oh, let me move on. My top story, let it begin to crown an NBA champion sometime in June. Boston is the overwhelming favorite in a year that's delivered on favorites across sports. Michigan in college football, Kansas City in the NFL, UConn in college basketball, Scotty Scheffler at the Masters, LeBron James in Showtime in New Orleans versus the Pelicans. Tickets currently as low as $21. Dubs and Kings late on TNT in the state capital of California tonight. Golden State, they were able to ride a bus from San Francisco today to the game in Sacramento tonight. Didn't even have to stay overnight. If they lose, the championship bus ride is over.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day has got to be this weird story that I've been kind of following today about Arizona transfer Omar Ballo. He was a big-time player for them these last couple of seasons, but after the year, he decided to enter the transfer portal, and some sites, I think it was 247, had him as the number 1 overall available player in the transfer portal. Well, a couple of Arkansas Twitter pages started to report around 12 o'clock, 12:30.
You can sign everybody.
That Omar Ballo, the number 1 player in the transfer portal, had canceled his visit to Louisville and instead was going to visit Kentucky. And I was reading it going, wow, that'd be a big-time pickup. And I started seeing other smaller college basketball accounts tweeting out, Omar Ballo gonna visit Arkansas. I was like, wow, that would be huge.
If it happened. If.
Not an hour later, Brett, Jeff Goodman and other national basketball analysts started to report that Arizona transfer Omar Ballo has landed with Indiana. So I don't know what those sources were telling people that he was going to visit Arkansas, because it sounds like he had his mind made up.
Arkansas is drunk on Cal, aren't they?
Oh, man, it sure
We
is.
know the feeling.
No,
We've been there.
Absolutely. But a big pickup.
It's hard to sleep it off, too.
Yeah, no, it really is. But for Indiana,
there's no detoxing from Cal, hardly.
Huge. No, it really isn't. And Jeff Goodman also was told by multiple coaches that he was asked that the asking price for Ballo was $1.2 million, which is incredible. But now he'll be at Indiana. Huge pickup for them.
Yeah, it is, but there's no vaccine yet to get rid of cow disease, is it?
No, there is not.
And we know it here, and Kentucky fans, they're going through the detox. I can tell you, Betty Ford Hazelden can't clear it up. It takes years, and then you'll understand that there's a whole lot of smoke and very little flame about him, and realize that you didn't have much, but Arkansas's got to go through it to learn.
Sure.
My not top story, day 2 of the start for next year for the Grizzlies. A remarkable season of bad breaks and bad luck, but the Whiz Kids have to deliver next year. Of course, patience if another rash of bad luck happens. If they have injuries like this next year, I don't think you can hold them to a test for really anything. But if they don't, as I mentioned with DeMichael Cole yesterday, if they don't, and it's just a year of being underwhelmed or no playoff success, then that 6-year mark is big for the Whiz Kid tenure, because that was the very number of years for the previous regime to get to the Western Conference Finals. So far for this one, with Ja and with Jaron and the Whiz Kids and Desmond Bain and all that's gone with it, and it's been a lot of fun that's gone with it, 1 playoff series win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to be a big year next year. It really is, but we'll see what happens. Big offseason for them, and definitely a big year next year as well. And hopefully, a year from today, we'll be predicting a long, deep run for the Grizzlies.
Get your towels ready. I'm ready to wave them.
I am too. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we come back, the NBA playoffs are here. We'll make our picks. That's next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP. plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56,520. MSRP 31,095. Charger PH 651,421. MSRP 36,420. Ram RG 193,472. MSRP 65,925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6634. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6634. That's 800-575-6634. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's Cool Cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or Cool Cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We still see some traffic that gets a little bit crowded over here already on 240 East at Poplar. I still see a pretty good delay west of Memphis this afternoon. It's going to be out there in Arkansas or in Jeanette. That's going to be 40 going westbound, just west of West Memphis. You're going to hit that wall of traffic out there in that section of Arkansas this afternoon. Give yourself extra time. Trust me on this. I'm looking at it, and it looks very slow go on the interstate. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the NBA playoffs, I guess, technically start tonight with these play-in games. We'll have 7, 8 Pelicans and Lakers starting the game or starting the night, and then Kings Warriors at 9 o'clock tonight. Winner of that game will play the loser of the first game. Winner of the first game will become the 7 seed. Tomorrow we'll have the exact same thing in the Eastern Conference. But we need to make picks for those play-in games, and we also need to make our picks for the entire NBA playoffs. So, Brett, where would you like to start?
Well, we'll start with the games tonight. We'll just do tonight's games. We'll do the 2 Eastern Conference games tomorrow night. Now, by being in this counts towards your team composite of playoffs made, doesn't it?
I don't think so.
You have to get to that.
I think you have to make it. But
because,
I'm not positive.
The COVID year in 2020, the Grizzlies playing in that play-in in August did not count.
Yeah, so I don't think it counts unless you actually make it into the top.
Get to the group of 8.
Right. I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Well,
so then I guess
Johnny,
technically these are not playoff games.
If the Lakers don't make it, they still got the in-season tournament to be proud of.
They still got that. They still got the banner and the medals.
Hey, serious question. LeBron's going to be.
Sure.
I'm not debating it. Don't want to. I think I could on the other side, but I don't want to. His number's going to get retired by the Lakers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. He done too much.
If they don't win another title, will Anthony Davis?
I don't know.
Should?
I think they might do it, but I personally don't think he deserves it yet. Me personally.
Bryant?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think
if you had to make the call, if you were Jeannie Buss and the call fell in your lap, he doesn't win another one. He might not even be there next year. Probably will be, but may not be.
Yeah.
But they don't win another one. They have the one bubble.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Would you do it?
Sure. Why not?
The why not would be there are a lot of Lakers that were on dynastic teams that there's hidden.
Yeah.
And he had that one janky title in the bubble.
Yeah.
And the in-season tournament.
Well, the in-season tournament, they got a banner for it. So.
And he was wingmate with a guy that brought one home to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a good question. I don't know. I would tell him to go ask somebody else.
The why is he's a champion, and the Lakers honor champions, and he was, at the time he played, one of the more distinguished players in the game.
Yeah, no, so I think so, but I think that's one you can definitely debate, and I think there's plenty of people that land on both sides of it.
Did Powell's number being retired help or hurt Anthony Davis's case?
I think if anything, it helped.
I think it helped.
Yeah, it did.
Because when you rattle off Lakers, great, it takes a while to get to Powell, and it could take a while to get to Anthony Davis.
Absolutely.
And it's because they have so many to name that's unarguable.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what makes it hard is, you've got that long list of players. This isn't, the Grizzlies where they have, right now 2. And
2 more coming.
Sure, and 2 more coming. But, right
and
now.
And we think 2 or 3 more in 15 years or so.
It would be a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier to say right now, we think, Jaren would probably, but you can't say
John
that
Bain as well.
Sure.
Someday.
Well, but the point I'm making is Anthony Davis is an active player right now, and it's much harder to make that say, yeah, he'll be retired than it is to say any Grizzly right now be retired because they just have so many. Their list is so long.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So Anthony Davis is in year 13?
Yeah.
12, 13?
Yeah, about 13.
13.
That's some career.
Sure is.
And to your side of why not, the why is I think eventually gets down to my theory on retirement. It's our business.
Exactly.
We can retire Norm Nixon's number if we want to.
Exactly. I mean, that's
we can retire. I can't believe as tight as Jenny Buss as she is with Kurt Rambis and Kurt Rambis's wife. There hadn't been more of a movement for Kurt Rambis to have his number retired and his goggles.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. So, that's kind of the one is like every organization's different. Sure, the Lakers are one of the biggest, but who knows?
the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, they're big on you going to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I think it's probably what's going to keep 51 for Willie McGee not being honored. Ken Boyer is not in the Hall of Fame. He should be, but he's not. And his was retired. Willie McGee maybe. But Scott Rowland is now in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Should his 27 be for the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Didn't play there long.
True.
One World Series that he didn't have a lot to do with. Helped.
Yeah, but I think so.
I do too.
I don't know. You followed a really long time there.
I know. And if you think about it, do you really believe it?
Well, that's why I try not. That's why
I think Hall of Fame, retirement, that should come without a blink of an eye. You shouldn't have to
think about it.
If you can argue yes or no, then it's no.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, for that's got to be full-throated yes, and I think that's going to hang up Eli Manning next January, February when they get together for his Canton first ballot conversation.
No, it definitely could. And that one's going to be a really interesting
Yeah, that's going to be
one.
interesting.
All that said, give me New Orleans tonight.
Okay. All right. New Orleans over the Lakers. Johnny, what do you got for that game?
Hey, man, I'm with Brett. Hey, I love that team of New Orleans, man. I love it. Okay. I love New Orleans. I'm picking them to knock them off.
Wow. Okay. Y'all have fun. Give me the Showtime Lakers.
That's not a bad pick. It is the Lakers.
It is the Lakers, but I mean, Pelicans have been good. Let's not sit here and act like the Pelicans have been bad.
Late game in Sacramento, Golden State at Sacramento. Who are you far? Who are y'all far in that series? Are you far Lakers or New Orleans or don't care?
I really don't care about either of these games.
Johnny,
I'm for New Orleans.
I think I'm for New Orleans too. Next one, Bryant, you first.
Give me the give me the Warriors in this one. Give me the Warriors.
Golden State, Johnny.
Oh, I got the Warriors as well.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
This is totally my sports hatred. Sacramento, go Kings.
Hey, I mean, again,
that's a possibility.
I was this many days old since the Kings have been my all-time favorite team.
Look, not a bad pick.
That's a possibility. They can't.
They're at home.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, at home.
New Orleans at home. Are we talking, cataclysmic upsets?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so at all. But I think these are going to be two really competitive games. I mentioned it earlier.
Proud champions, though, Lakers and Golden State.
That's very true. But I mentioned earlier.
We really gonna let New Orleans and Sacramento in this thing?
No.
That's what they both have to be thinking.
Well, honestly, at the end of the day, maybe I'm just going about it as a conspiracy theorist. Okay,
and advance that conspiracy.
We have been.
This will be good, Johnny.
We have been talking all season long, especially the latter portion of the season, of, oh, man, look at this. It's going to be Lakers and Warriors 9-10, winner advances, loser goes home. We were all sold on that's what it was going to happen. And then the last, 2 days of the season, oh, wait.
Presto change-up.
Yeah, Lakers are now playing the Pelicans and the Kings are playing the Warriors. And, now you're telling me that both these massive teams
spread it out a little.
Yeah, both these massive teams now have a shot at getting into the playoffs. So I'll go with the conspiracy side of it and take both those teams.
The conspiracists will be out tonight on any call that goes against Golden State and against Los Angeles.
Oh, absolutely.
Or with them.
Sure.
It would be more the conspiracy. With anything favorable for Golden State and Los Angeles and against Sacramento and New Orleans. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
You knew it was fixed. Donaghy's at work.
Yep.
He's in the command center.
Easily. And we've already kind of seen some of that, the last couple of games. So, you'll definitely see it tonight, I think.
Yeah, you will. I know you can definitely see this in our area. All the great locations for Jason's Deli. There's one near you wherever you are in our area. Over on Ridgeway Road across from MUS, by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland and Olive Branch and out in Cordova. And you can always check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com. Dining in, to-go or delivery, Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli with over 200 Memphis area associates to accommodate you. Healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free, and it's all about choice at all the Jason's Deli locations. That the centerpiece in every one's that great salad bar. You walk in and there it is, over 30 items to choose from for you to prepare it however you would like. If you'd like to order salads off the menu, they have that covered as well. My favorite, the taco salad, chicken Caesar, chicken club salad, Mesa chicken salad. Again, all about choice, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals. If you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you'll be delighted at Jason's Deli. And those sandwiches, those portions, all big and great. And for any catering need, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they've got you covered for all the catering, anytime, anywhere, 5 or 5,000, with locations at Ridgeway Road, out in Cordova, down at Olive Branch, and over by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland. And all those locations, the complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, let's go ahead and grab a quick break, and when we come back, a lot of news in the baseball world, including the passing earlier today of Whitey Herzog. We'll talk about that next on Sports Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Jason, my main man, Marshall, what's up over there at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Well, Randy, we know that one size doesn't fit all at Gossett Volkswagen, so we've got a take-your-pick offer that covers all the bases.
Well, everybody I know, including me, loves choices. So, Jason, what do you got?
How about a 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport? Take your pick for $279.99 a month. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports. Or get a brand new 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for only $33,988. And no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
That's Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 2364449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes stock final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finished with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. We can't wait to serve you.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our family leisure studios. And one game already completed in Major League Baseball. But one of the bigger stories today around the league, the passing of the legendary Cardinals manager, Whitey Herzog, a beloved figure in St. Louis, a fan favorite. His passing came out earlier this morning. Definitely a sad day for Cardinal fans.
Yeah, and Bryant, when you think of the Bill Parcells admonition to owners of, if you want me to cook, you got to let me buy the groceries. Well, Gussie Busch let Whitey Herzog cook. He said, you're the GM, you go out, wheel and deal, and he transformed the Cardinals really from a late 70s laughingstock to being one of the best teams in baseball for most all of the 80s, certainly the first part of the 80s into 85 and even into 87. But he was legendary in St. Louis. He was legendary in Kansas City, as I said earlier. And he had his 1 year, he was the replacement for Ted Williams as skipper in Dallas for the Texas Rangers in their second year in the Metroplex of 73. And it was a year to forget. And he kind of rebooted later with Kansas City and had a lot of friends in Memphis from the Kansas City years and Avram Fogelman's ownership interest there, and then a lot of friends in Memphis with the Cardinals. And even in spring of 1986, the famous Game 8 of the World Series played at Tim McCarver Stadium in an exhibition game that spring between the Royals and the Cardinals. It was one of the toughest tickets in the history of Memphis to get your hands on for that game. But it was a fun style of baseball. He recognized that with Busch Stadium, Busch Stadium 2, old Busch Stadium, that with those dimensions, he had to get a team model for that stadium. And I was telling Johnny earlier in a break, right now, with the way it is, with you can't throw over but a certain number of times. You really can't hold the base runner on. And this is not a complaint, but you've got the big old cooking mitts to slide in on. You've got the big pizza box bases. You can't really hold the runner on. Why wouldn't somebody dedicate themselves to building a Whitey ball team?
Yeah. Well, and I think you're going to start seeing that, in the future.
I got answers why.
Okay.
If it doesn't win, you don't sell anything with it.
Well, that's very true.
It's running the triple option.
Sure. But, I mean, with what it's kind of turned into,
why wouldn't somebody try that? I'm watching that. Now, Oakland's getting out of there, but you see those dimensions. Yeah. That ballpark that's so built for pitching, you got more foul territory than you do fair territory practically at Oakland, seemingly. It's not, but it looks like it. Compared to everything else is now just a bandbox. I mean, the distance between the on-deck circle And the pitcher's mound is nothing now compared to what it used to be. I mean, you had massive stadiums in Cleveland and all the cookie cutters. There was a lot of distance of foul territory. It's just not now. Whitey Herzog recognized what needed to be built in St. Louis, and he built it winning in '82, beating the Braves in the NLCS, and got a lucky rain out of Game 1 in that one, and then coming back in 7 games and beating Milwaukee after falling behind 3-2. The '85 team was probably his best team in St. Louis, won 101 games, and then had the heartbreak after getting up 3-1 against the Royals before the bad call in Game 6 and the complete come apart in Game 7 that I stayed mad over for 6 solid weeks. And then in '87, just the Twins in that ballpark, just like they were in '91 against the Braves, they were unbeatable at the Metrodome. And so he won 1. A really good shot at 2, could have won 3. Tony La Russa won 2 as manager of the Cardinals, and I think 2 beats 1. That's why and today's not the day to have the La Russa or Whitey debate, but it's kind of why I favor Don Tony a little bit over Whitey Herzog.
Sure. I mean, I think that's a valid point and, good reasoning behind it. But, one thing you can't say is, I mean, he was absolutely beloved in St. Louis.
He sure was.
Absolute fan favorite.
From New Athens, Illinois, and fan favorite. Never managed again. He still had something in the tank after it came apart and was relieved of his duties in the summer of '90, but he just never had the fire again to go back. La Russa did after leaving St. Louis, but Whitey didn't, and kind of stayed a beloved Cardinal forever because of that.
Absolutely.
I've told it a million times, and we're going to talk about it again tomorrow when Rob Fisher joins us. Rob starts his NBA playoff analyst role with us from now through the draft starting tomorrow at 5, and as fun a radio as I've ever had is when we went up in 2018 to Bellerive for the PGA Championship. And on that Wednesday, I've told this story before, you know it, Brian, but on that Wednesday, they had about every living St. Louis icon out to the media center at Bellerive to kind of have St. Louis Day.
Yeah.
And for me and Rob, we had Whitey Herzog to ourselves. Crazy. And a little bit of Ozzie Smith.
Yeah.
And Mike Shannon was out there. Joe Buck was out there. Rob knew all the hockey guys. I still didn't know who they were. But Rob did, and it meant a lot to him.
Sure.
But I think Whitey Herzog sensed from both of us, I'm talking to 2 guys that loved me and loved the Cardinals.
No, absolutely. 100%. So definitely a sad day, but it's one of those figures that, it's sad, but you have all the great memories and you have these stories of him and kind of what he did in his life and what he did with the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's been fun today reading and listening to some of the great stories of Whitey Herzog. So let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll start our second hour and we'll talk some college football with Brent Beard.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi.
Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition, P30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Is your home screaming for an upgrade? Listen closely, because Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is about to make your day. First up, say goodbye to cold showers and hello to endless hot water with our tankless water heater upgrade. Not only does it save space and energy, but it also keeps the hot water flowing exactly when you need it. And here's the kicker. Switch from your old tank to a sleek, efficient tankless water heater now, and Choates will hand you a $500 credit. Yep, you heard that right. $500 back in your pocket. But wait, there's more. Clogged drains are a hassle no homeowner wants to deal with. With Choate's special offer, get your drains cleared for just $93, or it's absolutely free. That's our guarantee to make it drain, or you don't pay a dime. So why wait? Call Choates today at 347-8086 or visit us online at ChoatesHVAC.com. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD is working with a couple of minor accidents. It seems like it's getting busier over here now on 240 East, trying to get past Poplar as that traffic cranks up now to the south on 55 down through South Haven. Still looks good. I-40 East, we checked it just a few minutes ago there at Warford, Hollywood, headed all the way over to White Station. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and joining us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, Brent Beard joins us from First Coast News down in Jacksonville to talk some college football. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. And a lot of spring games over the weekend, starting to kind of feel like we're getting closer and closer to college football. But out of these spring games, a lot of talk about what Ole Miss did down in Oxford, a little bit different. 7-on-7, a lot of activities in between the quarters, and you're now seeing some people say maybe it's a smart idea to do that. You know, nobody really wants to go out there and hit on spring game, and kind of make it fun, something for the players to enjoy out there. What did you think of what Ole Miss put on Saturday?
Well, it was typical Lane, basically mixing up and giving us something new. Mm-hmm. I think we all appreciate that. Now, one Phil Steele didn't care a whole lot for that.
He did not.
And by the way, the first preseason magazine's out in a little over a month, so that's amazing. Wow. Imagine having.
Do they know who the rosters are?
No, well, they won't until after May 1st. So, and they were delayed a little bit last year, and they frankly don't have a choice of that. But getting back to the question, I think there should be a balance of fun activities. But look, if you drive 3 hours, the fans deserve a what, Brett? 50-play scrimmage, something like that. You don't have to have 100 plays, but just give them something that they can enjoy and the players enjoying themselves, but yet let them see some of the guys who will be playing this coming fall and get a balance from that.
Brent, I went to a spring game Saturday and Square Jam broke out. A slam dunk contest, a pie eating contest, the axe throwing contest. I mean, it was a lot going on. Respectfully, Brent, I really do. You know I do. Here's what I think the fans deserve. They deserve a good team in September, and he's going to have that.
Oh yeah. I agree with that, no doubt. And I think they'll be a playoff team, and Franklin may be the best team in Ole Miss we've seen in a long, long time. So, but I do wish they would do something. I mean, I understand. I mean, the thing we talked about for years is play another team. I still don't think the coaches are ever going to do that because I think they think they give something away. I think that'd be some injuries. And the other thought about this is, this sounds nutty, but it's really not. They would look upon that, whoever lost, they would look upon that as the fans would point to that for the rest of the year until the season started.
Mm-hmm. Sure would. I mean, you'd have, because somebody, even if you played FCS, as many have suggested, maybe that's the time to play that. Somebody in the SEC out of 16, I would say there would maybe be at least one loss. Certainly, every 2 or 3 years, there would be one. And Brent, how now we do every fan base does every other fan base. We already know that until they avenge it, we're going to talk about Auburn losing to Yale forever in basketball.
Oh, no doubt.
It's going to be like it's the only game they ever played in the history of their school. And when you lose in season to an FCS team, that stays with you a long, long time. I know with Jacksonville State and Ole Miss in 2010, that took forever to get that in the rear view. And they're not going to do it. And if you play a real football game, I can guarantee you injuries. And here's the reason why. It's called football.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how they look. It sounds good in theory. The fans will like to see it, but I just think there are so many negatives from the coaching viewpoint that they would just never do it. So, in the meantime, what do you do to make your spring game an event and make it where the fans want to come and see some of the new hot shot players and have fun at the same time?
And we are in a portal right now where everybody's on alert. Everybody's scared to death of either getting poached or you're out there trying to get somebody else's players.
Oh, yeah. The portal giveth and the portal taketh away. We need to remember that with this portal, there's no intra-conference players moving from one SEC team to the next. I heard someone give an interesting perspective on the spring portal. They said the winter portal is kind of what you make the totality of your roster, that you gather your players, and then the spring portal would be more the fine tuning or the or just to pick out the net, shall we say? Mm-hmm. Since my granddaughter just turned 10, I can say that. But and go over. Okay, we need Kirby Smart said he needs a quarterback. Well, the quarterback's not going to replace Carson Beck, but he wants some depth in there, and you got to have that. So they're going to get another quarterback if they can, and they get someone that they like. So listen, it's a mixed bag. It really is.
Now with the SEC rule, all I see that rule doing is hurting the SEC. I don't know why you would have those kind of constraints on yourself, but they do. But now you can get a player they have to sit out. He just can't be eligible next year. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. They but there is that rule, and I'm really kind of surprised they haven't changed that by now. Yeah. But I think the commissioner wants it, and they're at this point that they're going to keep it, which means that if you're going to get someone from the conference, you got to do it in the winter.
Yeah, it's different. But I guess everything's different with what the transfer portal is now.
It is.
And certainly the biggest story kind of going into this transfer window and now that it's actually happening, Caden Proctor, who decided after the announcement of Nick Saban's departure that he was going to enter the transfer portal, go home, play for Iowa, but then decided, I guess, after being there for a couple of months, maybe I should go back to Alabama. He entered the transfer portal this morning and announced he's going back to Alabama. What have you made of that story? Because that one is, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see more of it as time goes by, but that is a strange one.
It is. I think he probably got to Iowa and he was homesick. Mm-hmm. Get that. But he's
forgot how cold it was in Iowa winters and now ready to get out.
Yes, absolutely. And now, Brett and I have been in Tuscaloosa, and Tuscaloosa can be one of the coldest and hottest places on the planet.
It gets it all.
But as far as Proctor's decision, I think he saw that. Look, if my goal is to go to the NFL, and I know they'll find people wherever they are, but I may have a better chance of doing it at Alabama, and I may be able to win a championship by doing that too if I go back. So, but look, and I'm being honest here, and sometimes do we make some rules that could keep that allow these players to keep from hurting themselves?
And we still have some spring games to go this weekend. Mm-hmm. What if a player announced he was in the portal but still wanted to play in the spring game this week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Would a coach allow that? I guess if the guy got in there and he had not made a decision and maybe willing to come back, I guess he would play. But that would be an awkward thing, wouldn't it?
Well, if I'm the quarterback, I don't know if I can trust my left tackle that really doesn't want to be there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, how did the Gators look in their spring game?
The quarterbacks were okay. Graham Mertz is going to be a good starter. Lagway, the hotshot freshman from Texas, was very good too. But Mertz will be the quarterback. Now, Lagway, that they'll have something for him, and he needs to play, frankly, in every game. But Montrell Johnson was fine at running back. Trey Wilson at wide receiver. They were, and I think they're fine with him. They've got to do something to get that defense better, guys. And they had 116. I'll think about that in a minute. 116 missed tackles last year. So they worked on tackling a good bit during the spring. Well, which is a good idea. So they think the defense will be better, and would certainly agree with that it will be too. But listen, guys, they were maybe 5 plays into the scrimmage and had another situation where they've got only 10 men on the field on an extra point. So, look, at some point, and they didn't have that the rest of the game, which is good. But, guys, if you're going to do what you really need to do, those are things that you've got to cut out. You can't have 2 number 3s jerseys, the 2 guys with the same number on the field at the same time. You can't keep having 10 guys only on the field. You can't have a situation where you are going to try a field goal to win the game, and you're trying to get your field goal team off, the other, or they're trying to get on, the offense trying to get off, and you got a 5-yard penalty, and the guy misses a kick from 48 that'd have been good for 43. So the reality is that there are things like that they've still got to clean up.
Yeah.
Brent, I could fix the duplicate number issue. I could tell him somebody's got number 9. You need to pick another number. I mean, if we can't tell a 19-year-old that, what can we tell them?
I agree. But see, the problem with that is
the whole team can't wear number 1. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I know it makes you look fast, but you got to wear number 46. Too bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But see, the problem with that
that was fixed.
They've got to get, and I think it's going to be better. But they really never did get an offensive coordinator. They're still going to call the plays. And they really never got a special teams coordinator either. So, I mean, they brought in
two big issues.
Yeah.
They are, and they brought in a guy who's going to be an analyst. But my concern is, at some point, you've got to have guys who are, look, they've got, like everybody else in the SEC, probably 50 analysts walking around at any moment.
50 won't touch it.
Yeah. So, get coordinators for both those positions and take some of the pressure off yourself.
Everybody's got video people filming the other video people.
That's right.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, they're just running into each other.
Cecil B. DeMille made movies with less video people than college football teams now have around them.
Jeez.
And won Academy Awards for it, too, correct?
Bridge Over the River Kwai was filmed with less cameras than college football teams have now, filming the sideline area to see who's pouting and who's disengaged.
No doubt. Oh, yeah. There's nothing that happens on the sidelines right now that's not recorded by somebody, right?
Oh, if you're waving at your mom up in the stands, it's captured on video now.
Sure it is. And
they show it the next week in kind of outcuts of people clowning on the sideline and go, well, this one was really worried about what was going on during the game.
Yeah, they were really focused, were they not? And look, I think another thing is that they look at the your posture. Are you in the surrender cover? Or
are you overthrowing your helmet and pulling an OBJ and getting beat up by the kick net?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's really, and look, for a lot of these coaches, those things are more important, or almost more important than it goes on in the field.
A real bad sign to a lot of coaches is the player with a helmet on the top of his head turned around the backwards. You're not going in and playing with your helmet on top of your head backwards.
No, you're sure not. No, absolutely. Or the ball cap's on and the helmet's 2 benches down.
Can't find it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happens
absolutely.
Way too often. But we're talking.
I got to do the disclaimer here, Brian.
Please.
The previous segment was brought to you by AARP.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But Brian, both of us are still young enough in spirit to where we're not yelling at the clouds.
That's right, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Yeah. We see some things that need improvement. That reminds me of a story when Gary Hollingsworth was playing in Alabama. The starter got hurt, and they were putting Hollingsworth in, and he couldn't find his helmet. And they said, "Gary, what else do you need before you go in the game?" He said, "Well, I need about 50 pounds."
Yeah, and he did.
Yes, he certainly did. But I'll say this: he got the opportunity. And in '89, ended up being the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Wow. How about that?
He sure did. And Brent, almost a perfect segue. Yesterday we touched on it, but the passing of Coach Steve Sloan, and I tried to make the case that he was all those things as described kind of in the AP story of his death. A very nice man, a very principled man, a great teammate, had the cup of coffee with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
But I thought it was important to note SEC Offensive Player of the Year one year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen,
his quarterback style was very similar to Gary Hollingsworth's.
Yeah, yes, it really was. I agree with that, and I give him also a tremendous amount of credit because of what he did. I mean, he succeeded as a player. He was a coach. And look, I mean, he's not going to be on the Mount Rushmore of SEC coaches.
No.
But you know, he did some good things.
Or
he
ADs.
was also a good administrator. As an AD, he was quite accomplished, wasn't he, in his career?
He was, and when I say SEC Player of the Year, and it was a long time ago, but it was 1965. Here's a name that everybody will remember that was SEC Offensive Player of the Year the next year, Steve Spurrier.
Oh yeah, oh yes, absolutely. And Steve would be happy to remind you of that too. But that is a good point. But yeah,
and both were very accomplished golfers, both Steve Sloan and Steve Spurrier. But he was a very young man at Vanderbilt, and then one at Texas Tech. And when he was hired at Ole Miss, it was the blockbuster hire, Brian. And that day when he was hired, early December or so, I know Channel 3, the CBS affiliate here. I don't know that the other two did, but I know Channel 3 broke into regularly scheduled programming to show the Steve Sloan press conference at Ole Miss. It was he was the supernova of young coaches, and everybody thinking, well, if he just wins anything at Ole Miss, he will succeed Coach Bryant.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy. Wow.
And he didn't. He struggled.
Well, they said the same thing about Jackie Sherrill and Schnellenberger too. But
Danny Ford and Richard Williamson.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, but it's a different day in a lot of ways. So, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I appreciate that. Sloan deserves the accolades, and it frankly is amazing. My stars, when I read his in all that he did in his life, he could have owned a moving company, could he? As many times as he moved.
Well, that was the business, and it really kind of still is. You got to be on the move.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I got to ask you before we let you go, Brent. We talked about Florida's spring game, but Miami also had their spring game over the weekend. Cam Ward, kind of his first public playing appearance in front of Miami fans. It sounds like he had a good day. It sounded like the offense looked pretty good. What was your takeaways from Miami's spring game over the weekend, and what should the realistic expectations be for Mario Cristobal's team this year?
I had a friend that in the media that went to the game, and he said, "I don't know if Cam Ward's that good or if our defense is that bad."
Wow.
Was the thing that he said. Now they've got some weapons, and this Xavier Respro is good. Now, Brett, did I just got to have a meeting, so I'm still catching up. Did the Parrish kid, their running back, end up at Ole Miss?
I think he will. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. And he's a good runner. So
good runner, really good for them. Really good receiver out of the backfield. Yes. Even can put him out and have him in the slot a little.
Agree. And two, I just cannot tell you. I mean, it seemed like it's growing day by day. How big this opener Miami has in Gainesville is going to be for both these coaches. I'm not
huge.
I'm not saying they're going to get fired, whoever the loser is going to be, but I'm just saying that at least the winner will get a reprieve for a few weeks anyway.
The defeated coach, it starts the process with his own fans of, I've seen enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it does. Yeah, and look, now I will say this. If it's a 42-41 type thing, the fan base will. I think they can live with that with the losing team. But if somehow
I don't. It's still a loss.
But if this thing's 37-14, that's another. Somebody's calling the moving van after that.
Mm-hmm. It gets ugly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how, with the portal back open, how things change. But as always, Brent, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Good. Always enjoy it, guys. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you so much. Brent Beard with us every week talking college football. And Bryant, we touched on something yesterday that I had fun with last night, trying to find the number of teams that you could pick to be the ACC representative and to be the Big 12 representative. Mm-hmm. It's going to narrow on Big 10 and SEC.
Sure.
But you can maybe get down 5 in both Big 12 and in ACC.
It's crazy. It's going to be fun. I mean, just the possibilities and kind of the excitement of trying to pick and choose who could come out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be. Let's all drive together, and let's do it starting at All-Star Chevrolet down in Olive Branch. That's the first exit into Mississippi on Highway 78, Kraft Goodman Road. You're there. Want to get charged up? Get to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch and test drive one of the new EV Blazers, and you'll get charged up with one of those. It's still Chevy truck season. If you're ready for a new Silverado, all the Silverados with financing down to 2.9 for 72 months and thousands in cash and trade. New Equinox, Trailblazers with 1.9 financing, no payments for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All-Star. You want something pre-owned? Everything you want's right there at All-Star. Ram trucks, Tahoes, Jeeps, Suburbans, the Traverse with third-row seating. If it's not on the lot, ask Jeff or Kevin, and they'll find it for you with all their contacts. Teachers, college students, first responders, military, healthcare workers, you all get an extra $500 bonus back. Where are you going for graduation, for Mother's Day, that first big summer road trip, a baseball trip, a golf trip? Better yet, what are you driving? Need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, next Thursday night, the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft will be announced along with the rest of the first round. It's going to be here before we know. It's already crept up on me. I was shocked earlier today when I realized it's only about a week away. So let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what will happen in this year's NFL draft. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey Mid-South, get to Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Spring Sales Event and get thunderstruck with 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for $18,960 or $269 a month, or hit the open road in your 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $28,350 or $379 a month, and adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. We Gossett $32,765 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months Mirage RH00 5921 MSRP 19460 Eclipse RZO 342,249 MSRP 29350 Outlander RZO 43754 MSRP 33765 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. Plus. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. I'm still seeing this slug of traffic over here on 40 going westbound, trying to get through West Memphis. It's all from a wreck we had way over in Arkansas there around Jeanette. Again, give yourself extra travel time if you're headed towards Arkansas on 40 going westbound, because in West Memphis right now it is crazy slow. It's picked up even more on 240 east over here at Poplar, where that's already running slow this afternoon. Starting to build now out of Midtown in the normal spots. I-40 at Chelsea and 240 south as you travel between, let's say, Union all the way down to Norris. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, it's been really interesting as we get closer to the NFL draft here. All of the rumors, all the discussion about what could happen with this year's draft. I think the biggest story is the quarterbacks, the amount of quarterbacks and the amount of quarterbacks that could go in the first round. But I think even more interesting is J.J. McCarthy and just this draft process for him. I think has certainly shot up the draft boards. What he did at the Combine certainly helped him out. And kind of mixed feelings from a lot of different people. There are a lot of people out there that think he's a top 10 pick. He could be a top 5 pick. And I think there's a lot of other people that would be very upset if their team took him in the top 10, top 5. So it's really interesting on where he will land in a week.
Wouldn't you think Jim Harbaugh is selling him privately to other friends of his around the NFL? I know he's not trying to help a team. He's got his own team he's trying to help. But don't you think he's pushing hard for him?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, his coach in college, and obviously they did great things together, and so
Sure
I'm sure
did.
have a really good relationship. And, Jim Harbaugh's in a position right now where he doesn't need a quarterback. And so I definitely think, if other coaches or other people
All the more reason to kind of blow him up.
Exactly. So
I know I got one.
Right. So I think if other coaches or scouts are coming to him and saying, hey, tell us a little bit about JJ, I'm sure he's given great accolades and talking very highly of what JJ could do.
Louis Riddick on ESPN, college football analyst, NFL analyst, and was even, I think he was GM of a team, certainly a lot of personnel cred that he carries, scouting cred, talent evaluator cred. He is making the case that the Chicago Bears should take Jaden Daniels, number 1 overall.
Wow.
And when you hear his case, and he breaks it down, he goes through everything comparing Caleb Williams to Jaden Daniels. And I never saw Caleb Williams in person play, but I saw Jaden Daniels, and I know what he can do, and I know what he can do when rushed, when flushed, and also the case that Riddick made that the final evaluation is they both kind of have the fastball, the one you got to rear back and really chomp.
Sure.
But to take a little something off and be crafty, the feathery toss, he said that Jaden Daniels has it over Caleb Williams. I saw that. It's every throw. It's to his left. It's to his right. It's from the cozy pocket. It's moving. It's on the run. And then when he runs, neither one of them are that big.
Right.
I don't know that I ever saw. Do you think Caleb Williams is a great runner?
No.
I didn't see that either. But I know Daniels can.
Sure. No, absolutely. I mean, Jaden Daniels is the dual threat. I can get out of the pocket and run and use my legs. I think Caleb Williams is more of an elusive quarterback, can move around the pocket with ease, but I don't think you're relying on him to take off with the ball and pick up, 10 to 15 yards just with his legs. And so that's certainly a difference. But that's interesting. And, I think I would love to see. I love Jaden Daniels and what he's done. Was really fun last year at LSU. But, man, I think we're a little too deep into it that I think if you're the Bears, you either have to take Caleb Williams or you have to trade out of that first pick. I don't think you can draft anybody else.
I fear whatever they do is going to be wrong.
I think so.
It always is, especially with a quarterback.
Yeah, and, we'll see.
But if Jaden Daniels goes 1 to Chicago, Caleb Williams goes home to D.C.
Yeah.
He loves that.
Sure. No, absolutely. So I think
they love that.
Absolutely. So I think, it might be a win-win any way you slice it, but I would be surprised. But I do love that argument because I do love Jaden Daniels, and I do think there is a case to be made long-term that he will be a better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
He's not real big, but you don't have to be anymore because the quarterback, they don't want them hit.
Right. So it's a different NFL, and you're definitely seeing the kind of quarterback position change. I've just got the most latest CBS Sports NFL mock draft.
Run through that because Bo's going to have his at 5 as well.
Yeah, and I love looking at Bo's. This is whose mock draft is this? Josh Edwards, his mock draft over at CBS Sports. Number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2 to the Commanders, Drake May. Number 3, this has a trade. The Minnesota Vikings trading up with New England to get Jaden Daniels. Number 4, Marvin Harrison Jr. Number 5, it has the Broncos trading up to get J.J. McCarthy. So that's already 4 quarterbacks taken in the first 5 picks. Malik Neighbors going 6th. Joe Alt going 7th to the Titans. Dallas Turner 8th to the Falcons. Romeo Dunze going 9th. And then rounding out the top 10, Brock Bowers to the Jets. So, that's an interesting top 10. I think if the Bears...
That's a little low for Bowers from what I thought. I said his name would be called in the first hour of the draft.
Well,
that's not at 10.
No, it's certainly not. But I would like him with the Jets. I think that would be a great pickup for them and give them a tight end, give Aaron Rodgers another weapon. But if the Bears could go out and get Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze with 1 and 9, that's a pretty good first 2 picks for them, I think.
In Aaron Rodgers' career, what tight end do you associate with him? There are a lot of wideouts.
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
Jermichael Finley, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's kind of where I don't know of the tight end that's really excelled.
One that jumps out to you. There's plenty of wideouts.
He likes swinging for the downs.
He sure does.
Yeah,
he
sure
does. That's a good point. But I would not mind seeing Brock Bowers there. And kind of being a building piece for them because, realistically, 1, maybe 2 years left of Aaron Rodgers, and then you gotta start with somebody else. So
if the Commanders took Jaden Daniels, the next day for the media rollout, it's Magic Johnson holding the jersey with him.
Sure.
That sells.
Yeah, big time, and certainly a new era for the Commanders in a lot of different ways, and so. If you can go get Jaden Daniels, I think an electric quarterback that'll fire up the fan base, and you have him there with Magic Johnson. I mean, that might be a win-win.
I'm sorry for being all over the place, but several weeks ago we were talking about it was when LeBron was in town the first time a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that, if you want to have the argument, whatever, go right ahead. But at worst, he's two. Mm-hmm. And I said I could make the case if I just had to have a debate subject of Wilt Chamberlain being the best ever or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Sure.
I felt bad after having that conversation that I left out Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Because I could have that argument too.
Definitely. I mean, an unbelievable player. And now great on Twitter. And, we'll see what
is he?
Well, I mean, brings me joy when I see his tweets. You know what? We haven't checked Magic Johnson's
Let's
Twitter
do
in a while.
Go to it. Let's go to the Magic Johnson X Twitter feed.
Yeah, old X now. Let's
see what he's weighed in on. Oh, I would have loved to have followed him the day of the eclipse.
Oh, wow. That's a great point.
Moon blocks the sun. We have an eclipse.
Sure does.
That would have been the tweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Wow, he's been a tweeting machine today. Holy cow.
What subject matter?
All over the place, honestly. So let's just start 5 hours
Can you imagine many
ago.
Whitey Herzog tweets from Magic Johnson?
Zero.
Any? No. Okay.
Absolutely zero. All right, let's start with 5 hours ago. He posted 4 pictures of him at the Dodgers game last night. One was Shohei Ohtani. What a picture that is, Magic and Shohei.
And he's got a piece of the Dodgers. It's a wonderful life.
It really is. Here's the
It
tweet.
is.
Jackie Robinson Day with my Dodgers and Dodger Nation is always a great time. I had fun addressing the crowd, hyping up the men in blue, and connecting with Dodgers staff last night.
I say way to go.
Straight on tweet. 2 hours ago, now we're getting back into basketball. I want the Lakers to beat the Pelicans tonight to secure the number 7 seed and face the Nuggets. Even though the Lakers lost their 4 matchups against the Nuggets, games 2, 3, and 4 were all close. It's ridiculous that I've been hearing people think that they should intentionally lose to face the winner of the Kings versus Warriors and eventually the Thunder. As a true competitor, you should always want to win. To be the best, you have to beat the best. Great tweet, Magic. I love it.
Sounds like a Hall of Famer.
I love it.
Now, but somewhere in there, Magic was proud of playing close.
Well, I mean, it's a long tweet, Brad. I mean, that was caked in
but
there.
I caught that, didn't I?
You did. No, you did. He said games 2, 3, and 4 were close, and I didn't say it because you can't speak an exclamation point, but there was an exclamation point at the end of that sentence. So he was
and as always, the context of Twitter.
Of course. Another tweet. This will be an amazing night for the NBA, and the play-ins will be just as good as the playoffs. Fire emoji. Look at the star power playing tonight in the West. LeBron and AD against Zion, and the Steph Curry against De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Tomorrow, we get to watch stars Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey against Jimmy Butler, and then Trae Young against DeMar DeRozan in the East. I mean, someone needs to hire Magic at ESPN
to be Secretary of State.
To just put up the graphics of what players should we put on the graphics for tonight's game? I mean, he's got it.
I always ask this. Do you think he's typing away?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We can get to that level.
Felt very.
He's got people.
Magic.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of people.
He does. He then wished happy birthdays
to
Kareem and Michael Cooper. So happy birthday to both of them.
The great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's right. And he has several pictures with Kareem. So.
And it was classic in Magic Johnson's first game of his rookie year. You can find it on YouTube.
Sure.
It's funny to watch. Opening game, they're 0-0. It's first game he's played in the NBA, and he had inbounds play in Kareem, classic skyhook at the buzzer to beat the Clippers when they were the laughing stock of sports.
Wow.
And Magic goes crazy and jumps in Kareem's arms, and you can see Kareem Rook. And we got 81 more. Back away.
Wow. Just 2 into the moment. Big win. So, wow, that's great. Actually, before we get to a break, I do want to give this out. Breaking news that I'm just seeing on my Twitter. Has nothing to do with what we've been talking about, but it looks like Memphis running back Jay Ducker has entered the transfer portal. So by my count, that is now 2 Tigers in the transfer portal. I will definitely be bringing that up later when we have Taco Bell Crunch Time.
But that's a position of strength, though, isn't it, Johnny?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Running back.
Plenty of running backs.
Yeah, we got a lot, man.
This was a transfer portal entrance of, I've gone through spring practice. I am very clearly not number 1. I'm very clearly not number 2. I need to go somewhere else.
And for a long time, Memphis always finds a running back in August that a lot of people didn't see coming.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And a lot of the guys there got real great hopes for Mario. He came in.
Yeah.
And Ducker, he was real good for us, man, but he was really way better at his other school. He had 1,000 yards, but came
at
here.
North Illinois.
Yeah, and he came here. You know, that running back room is deep. You have to split time. So it just wasn't a good fit.
Yeah, well,
but he's a good player.
That's a good point by
person.
you, because I think he just never got that opportunity to be the main back here.
Yeah.
And so he'll go somewhere else. He'll be a main back somewhere. Really good player. So I definitely wish him well. But we need to get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56520. MSRP 31095. Charger PH 651,421. MSRP 36420. Ram RG 193,472. MSRP 65,925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers, and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend at Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is, when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Fill your spring with brilliant style at Sissy's Log Cabin. From the latest designer trends to one-of-a-kind pieces to exquisite diamonds, you'll find the joy you need for a stylish spring while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched quality, service, and selection. Experience Sissy's for yourself when you stop by any of our 6 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. Create the style of your dreams only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or 2024 Tiguan S, or 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for $33,988. So get it done and be ready to ride at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36 month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big. Big Daddy. The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, my big number today comes from the NBA. As the regular season has come to a close, Todd Whitehead put together a list of the most impactful rookies since the 2019-2020 season. So top 10 most impactful rookies since the 2019-20 season. He uses his SPI, which is Synergy, Player Impact, and corresponding net points added. So my big number
Who
today,
doesn't? I mean, I have my SPI always ready.
Always. Handy as always. But my big number is 235. That is how many net points added for the leader in this ranking. So I want to build some excitement. I want to, get some intrigue going. So I'm going to start.
Run that formula by me again. How do we get to that?
Synergy, Player Impact, and also corresponding
Man, I wish I'd
net
thought
points
of that.
added. Yes, who knows how they get all these, whatever. But certainly net points added. We'll start from 10, and we'll work our way to who had 235 points added for their team. Number 10, again, these are all rookies, the best rookies since 2019-2020 season. Jaime Jaquez Jr., number 10, a rookie this year with 54 net points added. That's correct. A rookie from the 2022-23 season that will be going tonight for the Sacramento Kings, Keegan Murray. He ranks number 9. Number 8, our very own Ja Morant from his 2019-20 season, 62 net points added plus 1.3 SPI. Number 7, Brett's guy, Walker Kessler, the Utah Jazz rookie last season.
Wouldn't be looking for a big man if we'd have kept him.
Brett, that's a great point by you. Number 6, Brandon Podziemski, the rookie for the Warriors, 73 points added for him in Golden State. He'll be going tonight against the Kings. Number 5, Evan Mobley. Number 4, Franz Wagner. Number 3, Herb Jones. Number 2, this year's Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama.
We see Herb Jones tonight. I love him.
I love Herb Jones too, man.
I like his game. Just slashing. He's beating you, and you don't realize it till you're defeated.
Sure.
No, yeah. And also, Brett, whoever's the number one guy, he wants him.
Yeah, that's who he's on.
Yeah,
well, Johnny, we were talking about Magic in the break, we were talking about Michael Cooper in the break.
Yeah. So, Herb Jones has played really, really well. A lot of these guys we're about to see. Franz Wagner, his team's been really good for Orlando this year, so we'll see him.
Underrated to me.
But the number 1 player in the most impactful rookies using the SPI with 235 points added, he plays on the number 1 team in the Western Conference. Chet Holmgren,
really?
A rookie this year.
That's
after
a great
missing
stat,
last year. He is number 1 most impactful rookie since the 2019-2020 season.
Great number, Brian.
Thank you.
I don't know if I can top it, but I'll try, and it's obvious today. It's 24 for Whitey Herzog.
Yeah.
He wore number 3 the first, kind of that half year with the Cardinals of 1980. His third baseman, Ken Obertfeld, was wearing 24 and worked to deal with him. And Obertfeld switched to number 10, and Whitey Herzog switched to 24, and it's retired in St. Louis Cardinal lore. Sadly, now only 3 players with retired numbers are still with us. Wow. So Ozzie Smith, his uniform number 1. Ted Simmons, who was part of the trades that Whitey Herzog made in wheeling and dealing back in the day, his number 23, and Tony La Russa wearing number 10. Who's next for the Cardinals? Well, we know it's going to be Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols soon. Adam Wainwright, did he do enough to have number retired? We know Cardinal Hall of Fame in the red jacket, but 50 retired. Did he?
Oh, man, I don't know.
He's not going to Cooperstown.
No. I don't know.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. What do you say?
Yes.
Well, I lean yes. But
if for no other reason. That curveball to Carlos Beltran in 06 in LCS.
That's a really good point. I'll say yes. Why not?
Man, it started up at the top of the lights at Shea Stadium and broke off at his knees.
Yeah, I'm always gonna lean in favor of yes for number retirements for players.
And we're not gonna run out of numbers.
No. Well, I guess. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of numbers.
Yankees have it.
That's a good
Celtics
point.
have it. They're close. The Celtics are close.
Celtics are really close. Some of those numbers that they have to run out there for some of these guys get a little wonky, but definitely a good.
But if you do Adam Wainwright, don't you have to retire Willie McGee's 51? And who's going to be wanting 50 and 51 anyway? What the heck?
Yeah, why not? I think you do. Yeah, I think so. So maybe you'll definitely get those first 2 with Yachty and Albert. Those are
in that order. Yachty first, and then Albert.
I'd say yeah, probably.
Yeah, Yachty didn't leave.
No, he did not. You're right about that. So it will be fun though when we do eventually get to those. Well, we need to go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more NFL with Bo Marchant.
Springtime is hot wing time, and time for the ultimate hot wing showdown at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. Be there Saturday, April 20th at Memphis River Garden Park on Riverside Drive. See over 60 teams fighting for hot wing supremacy, along with live blues, soul, and rock and roll. All in support of the Ronald McDonald House. It's a sizzling day of fiery flavors, live music, and family fun, and you're invited. It's hot wing time in Memphis. Get your tickets now at worldwingfest.com. This is your delicious chance to make a difference.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, 30 $24.99 do it signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 do it signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition, P30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Sports 56 traffic.
Continues to struggle on 40 westbound over in West Memphis, all because of an accident we had earlier out there in Arkansas near Jeanette. Again, slow go traffic. I'm looking at it live, 40 westbound, right there at 55. It's also got it backed up into Marion there in that section of Crittenden County. Traffic's picking up even more with more volume on 240 eastbound over here trying to get past Poplar. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Bo, thanks so much for joining us, and don't look now, but we're about a week away from the NFL Draft. A lot of rumors, a lot of reports, a lot of visits for these players, and we've talked about it week after week, the biggest story in this year's draft is all of these quarterbacks that could be taken in the first round. Where are you kind of sitting right now with these quarterbacks?
I like the crew. I like these guys. Talking to Johnny before we went live, there's 6 predominant names that, you're going to see in the first and second rounds next week. So I like the upside for most of them. And as we know, it's no matter how much we love these guys at this point, we've seen through the history and the way things go, it's a very strong likelihood that just say if you take those 6 of McCarthy and Penix and Nix and May and Daniels and Williams, maybe 2 of those guys are going to be really good. Maybe one of them is going to be really stand above Hall of Fame-ish, and you just hope they're not on a bust level. And at this point, you can only, you look at their college work, you look what all these teams have done. We've all done our own research, and you just, now it's just you hope. You've done the work, and now you just kind of hope. I think the Marines have a saying that product is the work, excellence is the product of design, and I think teams want to do that as well, but it's just a little trickier with such the unknown of trying to, nail a prospect, especially at such an important position.
Bo, a lot different for the NBA, just 2 rounds. But you get some NBA people that say, I wish we weren't at the top of the draft for a lot of reasons. You don't want the year you probably just had that earns it, and then so much can go so wrong. And we know the 2 spot in NBA drafts has been fraught with peril a lot of times. In the NFL, except for the fact that you probably had a really crummy year last year, do you think teams relish being at the top of the draft and having this much pressure? Because this defines your career.
I think it all depends on the draft and the certain prospects are there. There's never, you want to say there's guys that are can't misses, but you still can miss. There's still certain guys where, you're going to take them, they are going to pan out. I mean, there's a high number of, success the higher you are. If you're a quarterback needy team, you're up top now, you love it. Maybe if you're non-quarterback needy, we don't see that in this particular draft. But at the end of the day, I think teams like it. I mean, there's a reason why teams jockey and they give up so much draft capital to move up to these high selections. I think we get built up in the excitement. Teams, as hard as you kind of probably want to eliminate I get maybe the maturity or the fun out of it. There's still, you gotta, there's a room out there in the NFL, a draft room, where one team is going to fall in love with an individual. They love his workouts. They love his character. They love his tape. They love all those intangibles, and they kind of get carried away. You kind of get swept off your feet. Now, listen, it doesn't mean that they're just going to throw everything to the wayside, but nonetheless, they are going to get carried away with a certain individual. You've probably talked. I know I've talked to coaches. I even know Tomlin during our private things during the training camp. He'll mention certain guys in the past that are guys that he really liked that, may not play for the Steelers, but he just knew, he liked what they brought to the table. So I think that's with all teams where you find a guy that you really like, you're going to end up, handing the card with their name written down and just cross your fingers that they become a predominant, contributor to your team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know we've talked about this guy the last couple of weeks, but you continue to hear his name as a guy that could be taken in the top 5, certainly in the top 10. But J.J. McCarthy, I am just still not sold on him, the idea of him being a top 10 pick with the quarterbacks that are around him. What do you think? We see the reports that he's meeting with all of these teams and that teams are very high on him. But where do you stand on J.J. McCarthy with about a week before the draft?
Yeah, I'm not sold on it. I talked to an insider right before we went live. He's also part of the program, and he called him a Christian Ponder, and I love that comparison, Johnny. Johnny with the Christian Ponder comparison. I don't know. As I told Johnny before we went live, granted we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, the best in the league, but
sure.
When Patrick Mahomes, when the Chiefs are on their back, their face is on the mat, he lifts that team up and he drives them. And you're going to say, well, they won the national championship. I don't really think they won the national championship because of McCarthy. It's kind of like the Ravens winning because of Trent Dilfer. Was Trent Dilfer a good quarterback? He was, but the next season they went to Elvis Grbac because they just didn't feel comfortable in him. So I look at McCarthy as that guy. I just don't see it. I haven't seen him in a big game, where it was him that won the game. It was him that just dominate. I'm probably firing up and alienating a lot of Michigan fans. Are probably screaming in their cars right now. But for me, he's the one guy out of the quarterbacks that I'm very hesitant on to think that, when you're talking top five, top five. If Penix and Nix are borderline first round talent, absent of a national championship that I really don't think was cohesive to just McCarthy. Nobody can argue that, at least with me feeling that you're going to change my mind. I could be stubborn, but that's the way I look at it. I just don't. And, he could be on the flip side, we could be talking a year from now. It's week 6 of the season. He's starting, and we're going to say, wow, this kid looks phenomenal. Whatever team selected him look like geniuses. So, we could go back to the Brock Purdy's and the Tony Romos and guys that are kind of under the radar that really succeed. So I don't buy into it, and to think that a team would move up that high, especially with some of the names that I mentioned in Nix and Penix that should be in that same, draft range, I just find it a little bit of a stretch if a team that would decide to move up as high as 4, 5, or 3 to do that. I would be shocked.
Bo, we know next week we'll be about 48 hours from the draft, and then the following week we will have the draft that we'll be discussing and where everybody went, and that's when we always pick our first round player we know that will someday go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame when we always make that pick. I don't need 2 weeks. I can tell you mine right now, especially in this age of the rules and how we're just creating one after another conveyor belt from starting with Tony Gonzalez to Gronk to Gates to all the different tight ends to now with Kittle and Kelsey. Mine's going to be Brock Bowers. He plays 12, 13 years and racks up phenomenal numbers as tight end.
Wow, I like it. I'd probably go with Harrison. But, Brett, when you mention that, usually there's always a few guys that I really feel, it doesn't mean I'm right. I thought Chance Womack was going to be a Hall of Fame type guy, and he was nothing close to that stature. Yeah. So, but this particular class, I'm not enamored with anybody where, wow, I think this is guy, and there will be. It's just when I look at him, there's nobody that pops for me. I have to say Harrison. He seems like the safest guy. He has the pedigree, he has the DNA. He showed it at a high level at one of the best programs in college football. So, it's hard to knock, that. And the position he plays, these receivers seem to come in very, astute at getting up to speed. Years ago, it maybe took a season or two for these guys to adapt, but, these guys come in fresh from college football and they arrive as rookies in the National Football League and they kind of dominate. So I'd have to go with Harrison. I hate going with the skill guy. I like to maybe, find a lineman or a D tackle or maybe a defensive back. It seems like
which one of us had James Blackman a few years ago?
Yeah, I would have to go with Harrison. Yeah, and he, and you think of him, he was poised for it. Those off-field issues, though. But he was putting it together. The talent was there. Just the kid got derailed a little bit, and we see that happens. It's unfortunate, but it's he won't be the first guy that has immense talent that kind of loses sight of it, and he won't be the last.
Is there anybody that you have in the first round or maybe the top 15 that you kind of look at other mock drafts, you look at what other people are saying, and maybe you're a little higher or maybe a little lower on somebody that everyone else has differently than you?
I think the two guys, Nate Wiggins, the Oregon DB, and then Brian Murphy, the Texas D lineman, those two guys I've had a lot higher for most of the draft season. When I glance around, it seems like they're a little bit lower than others. But when you start doing a mock draft, and if you ever really put a mock draft together, it's going to take you some time. And if you want to try to act like you know what you're doing, it's a frustrating task. And especially when you get to 13, and then you realize you missed J.C. Latham, and then you're like, oh, now what? And you got to go back. But I think those are the two guys that stand out to me that I've had a little bit higher, and it seems like those guys, like Nate Wiggins is a guy that you can see as low as 32. Brian Murphy has caught a little bit of fire. I think he's risen since you're talking early January through the combine stages. I think he's rose a little bit, but I think those are the two guys I think I've had a lot higher than others.
We didn't ask for the whole first round for today. We just asked for you gave your top 10 players last week. Now we want them designated to a team with no trades, just as the draft order exists today. So roll with it, Bo.
All right, I'm going to go the Bears with Williams. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels to the Commanders at 2, Drake May 3 to the Patriots. I'm going to go with a little change of pace, and this is me being a stubborn old person where I want the on-field work to matter. So I'm going to go Malik Neighbors just because he worked out and he did his thing. So I'm going to put Neighbors as a spite move just to satisfy myself, and a message to all those other college guys that you got to show up a little bit. We know you're great in college, but just give these teams a little bit of something. So I'm going to go Neighbors 4. I'm going to go Joe Alt, the O-lineman, 5 to the Chargers. I'm going to go Jared I'm going to go Harrison to the Giants. I'm going to go Verse to the Titans at 7. I'm going to go Dallas Turner to the Falcons at 8. I'm going to go. Now 9 and 10. I kind of got 3 offensive tackles here. I got Felice and then I got Latham, and I think you can kind of flip flop those. I would like to see Latham go to the Jets at 10. Mekhi Betton, the 2020 first rounder, was 11 in 2020. He's a bust. He's no longer with the team. But when you look at size and intangibles, Latham is that big guy. He's like 360. So was Betton. So I look at the Jets kind of replacing him. So when I do that, Talisi, Fashani, the Bears at 9, the Oregon State kid. So those would be the top 10. The Washington kid, Oduze, I don't have him going. He seems like a guy that you see at the Bears at 9 every mock draft that you would look at. But I kind of see him falling out of that top 10. I just think linemen, they still serve such a critical purpose. It's easier to find a guy that's 6'1", 200 pounds that runs fast than it is to find a guy that's adequate in the NFL at 6'6", 330 that can play against the best. And I think that's why these linemen they'll kind of prove their worth on draft day, and we'll see at least 3 in the top 10.
So you mentioned Joe Alt to the Chargers. I know a lot of people have him going to the Titans at 7. How much do you think offensive lineman is a need for the Titans when you look at new quarterback, kind of young quarterback, young weapons? How much do you think offensive line should be a target for them in this draft?
I think it's a total target. I think now if this would go, and I'm really going off the limb here, putting Harrison at 7. I mean, that would be, it's not going to happen, but we're going to have a little fun. I think for the Titans at 7, it's kind of like an Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. You really weren't planning on taking the guy, but he was supposed to be the second pick of the draft, and somehow now he's sitting down in the 20s.
Right.
I think that would be the scenario for any team, even the Giants, the Titans. If a guy like that would slip, if a guy like Neighbors would slip there, you just kind of throw need and just go, wow, like this guy's the highest guy rated on our board. You got to go that route. So I think that's how teams would perceive it, unless they have a lineman higher than those guys. But I think if a Harrison or a Neighbors would slip into that 6-7 range, I think those teams bite on them. I just think they're probably pegged and that draft board internally. I think those guys would go higher than some of the linemen that I've mentioned in the later part of the top 5 or the bottom top 10.
How risky is Drake May?
He's risky. They're all risky though, Brett. I mean,
they are.
He is. He's the guy with the most criticism, and you can love him or dislike him. I saw him play and he impressed me, and that for me that goes a long way because I've seen a lot of guys. Another North Carolina, Eric Ebron, the tight end. People loved him, and it doesn't mean because you watch one game live and they don't play great or they don't stand out, it doesn't mean that they're not a good draft prospect. But you do like walking away with the impression like, wow, that guy knocked my socks off. Well, that was fantastic. And, when I watched Drake May, he was phenomenal. But I've seen other guys play phenomenal too. Mason Rudolph, when, I've seen him when him and James Washington were at Oklahoma State, and those guys looked dominant. And they really
I love James Washington.
Oh, I did too. How couldn't you? It's some guys you just look at, they can't miss, but they miss. May is a guy that I think you develop, and I hate using these cliche things because that was kind of the knock on Herbert that he wouldn't be the guy immediately, and Tyrod Taylor gets a punctured lung before the game during a COVID season where you're really not even working out with the team, and Justin Herbert steps in and becomes a superstar. So. These guys, we're going to know off the bat if they have it. It doesn't take long. C.J. Stroud, he's the perfect latest answer to if you got it, you got it, and if you don't, you might never have it, or it's going to take a long time. So we'll know early on with all these guys. We're going to know in training camp. But listen, if these guys are delivering what these teams think they can do early on, and there's not many options on the roster, and you look at the top teams picking in Chicago, New England, and Washington, there's not a lot of talent there where if any one of those teams took a rookie quarterback, and if these rookie quarterbacks go into camp and they really start lighting it up, the teams aren't going to go to them. I mean, there's a reason why Bryce Young, there's a reason why, C.J. Stroud got those opportunities. One, the rhythm wasn't there, and they earned it. So I like May, but, he's going to be questionable, Mark. He's a good character guy in terms of I think he can walk into a locker room. I think teammates are going to embrace his personality. He's got a fun-loving, charismatic attitude. I think you're drawn to that, and that's a leadership quality. And it's the matter of him playing, smart football in critical moments, not turning the ball over. But I could say that about every quarterback that's ever played. Is you got to be smart in good moments and don't turn the ball over. So it's a hard guess. I like May. I like Jaden Daniels' upside more than all of them. Caleb Williams. I don't dislike Caleb Williams. I just don't see how he's in another stratosphere of some of these other guys. I still think he's better, but I don't see him as this generational talent that has come through USC and just he's going to arrive at the doors in Chicago and chase the franchise instantly.
I mean, do we really think he's that much better coming out of college than Matt Leinart was? And we know Matt Leinart was a royal bust.
Yeah, Sanchez, Leinart. I mean, Carson Palmer, he was a first pick, and he played well. I mean, he was a good quarterback, fantastic quarterback. But he was never, Cincinnati, that goes to it. Probably I could get off topic here in terms of, where they go and, how teams can develop guys. But Palmer lived up to it, but he still wasn't the best. And I don't know if there was ever a season where he was playing where we're like, wow, Carson Palmer is the best quarterback in the league. He's up there, but he wasn't the cream of the crop. He wasn't Dan Marino. He wasn't Mahomes. He wasn't, Peyton Manning. He was Carson Palmer, and that's a Jim Everett, and that's just a guy who's really good, like a Matt Ryan. He's a really good quarterback, but when he's not a Tom Brady. So, but I like the guys. I like this quarterback class. I think they all offer something a little bit different in who they are, their college careers. A lot of them went to different places before they found success. So I think that makes it intriguing in terms of where we are collegiately, where we don't see guys with the same schools, and we found guys that were so early on and made some transfers, and
that's Bo Nix you're talking about.
Bo Nix, Daniels. I mean, these guys. Williams had success at Oklahoma, so it wasn't like he was, But these guys, it's a different game. But you could see it. I like Penix. I do like Penix. I like Nix. I mentioned Spencer Rattler last week. I do like the quarterback class, and as I mentioned last year, I thought was the worst season I've ever watched at the quarterback position. So. You talk about a league that's needy of some young arms to really kind of replenish what we've lost when we looked at all the Mannings and the Bradys and the Matt Ryans and the Phillip Rivers and, all the names. I'm probably forgetting a ton that we were really spoiled. Drew Brees, watching these guys play at probably the highest level of a generation of quarterbacks that we've seen in the league, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Getting away from the draft a little bit, the news came out this morning that Devontae Smith reaches a 3-year, $75 million extension with the Eagles. What did you make of that news? Obviously, highly touted guy out of college. What do you make of that news from him?
I felt bad for him because I reached the same deal with and it's a little bit more than he reached. Mine was a 3-year, $81. Yeah, nice. I felt bad for him. No, it's great. It talks back to these receivers being able to step in and doing their thing. And, Ohio State guys, we've seen in the recent years with Garrett Wilson and Olave and Smith, these guys, it's a pipeline. You got Harrison, and the same thing with LSU. You got Chase, you got Jefferson, you got Thomas and Neighbors coming out this year. So LSU and Ohio State, they are hot and developing top-tier receiver talent. But well-deserved on Smith. And it just kind of shows you that, if you do well, you can make it happen. And to think that they got A.J. Brown on the opposite side of him, and now they're going to have Saquon Barkley in the backfield, you just have to think, Jalen Hurts and company should have a very potent offense in 2024.
And A.J. Brown's ready. I saw him Saturday. He was one of the judges in the slam dunk contest Saturday at Ole Miss.
Wow. Oh, nice. Who won it?
A slam dunk contest at a football spring game, Bo.
Who won that?
Brandon Turnage. And he got up. Now they lowered the goal a little bit. It was only about 9 feet. And my cohorts on that I was with Saturday, they both were talking about that they could dunk in high school. And I said, I know this is going to shock y'all. I could not dunk in high school. On any size goal.
Yeah, I might be able to dunk on a 5-foot hoop, and even that would be hard.
I'm going to need help.
Yeah. Remember, I said 5 feet.
Yeah. I still got to land, Bo.
Yeah, I think.
I
think those guys playing for Ole Miss are much more athletic than probably all three of us combined. So, I think there's a reason they're out there in the dunk contest. Well, Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us. And next week when we talk to you, we'll be only a couple days away from the draft.
Hey, much love to you guys. I appreciate it. And, you guys know me. I'm going to be on. This is like Christmas and April. I can't wait. This is my favorite time of the year. And next week is like the birth. It's spring. It's the new life of the NFL. So.
Yeah.
Get after it, Bo. It'll be fun. You'll be headed to Detroit. We look forward to it. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Bo.
Yes, sir. Stay safe.
Thanks, Bo. Bo Marchionte joins us every week to talk the NFL, and got a little bit of a change. We were talking about a 2.5-hour show. We were going to have to be pretty quick with Bo, but now we're going all the way till 6 o'clock. Ole Miss and Arkansas State has been delayed. They're in a delay right now, so we're going to go all the way to 6 o'clock, and then hopefully around 6 or so we'll get to Ole Miss pregame as they try to get that game in tonight against Arkansas State, but some weather in the area in Jonesboro. It's raining, pouring down rain right now out there. Tarp on the field and everything, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we were all feverishly during that segment, kind of coordinating with looking at radars and coordinating. And boy, when you brought up that radar in Jonesboro, you knew not a chance for a 6 p.m. start. And Ole Miss already over there, so we'll see if they can get the game in. Do you remember in the national championship year for Ole Miss in 2022? It was a little bit later than this. There was a game scheduled in Jonesboro that Ole Miss got out of. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, kind of, something, yeah.
There weren't many clouds in the sky that day.
Yes, I do remember that game now.
And Ole Miss, even playing that game late in the year and winning it, they had factored in what damage it would do to their RPI on Selection Monday, and kind of bowed out of that game. Tonight, they kind of need that win to. They lost Arkansas State in Oxford, didn't they? Earlier?
I think so, maybe.
So
I don't remember.
I think so. They kind of need that win tonight, but that was a big one to kind of get out of that game 2 years ago. A loss would have been devastating, but even a win was going to crush RPI.
Sure. Yeah. No, you're right about that. I do. Now that you're talking more and more about it, I do remember a lot of controversy around that one. So we'll see if they can get it in tonight.
We will, and if they do, whenever they start, we'll have all the action. But I don't think anything before about 7 o'clock. It looks like, does it?
Yeah, no, it looks like it's gonna be raining there for a while. So we'll see. Hopefully, before we're done with the show, maybe we have a tentative time of when they're gonna try to get on there, but certainly not right now.
Bo Marchionte, like all our guests, was on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. You can text or call that number at 901-360-8255. Sissy's Log Cabin with that new location at 4542 Poplar. It's open, and they are very proud of it, and they should be. We were there for the soft opening. We were there for the grand opening. We'll be back soon. Bill Jones, his great team, here to stay. Some blow in and out overnight. Not Sissy's, part of the fabric of the community as the official jeweler of the hometown teams like the Memphis Grizzlies, like the Memphis Tigers, and the FedEx Forum floor seat lounge. It is Sissy's Log Cabin to go back there and enjoy that and look at all the jewelry on display back there when we get back to FedEx Forum, and we will sooner than you expect. They have the Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings. I know this time next year they want to be in the playoffs, and so do we. 9,000 square feet in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South, they offer a selection of estate jewelry, fine gifts, diamonds, with unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, like I mentioned, no Ole Miss pregame at 5:30. We will have that hopefully later. Hopefully before we're done with today's show, we'll have an idea of when that pregame will start, what time they're hoping to get it. But as of right now, that game is in a delay. So we will need to get to a break here. And when we come back, a lot to talk about during What's Trending with all of the baseball going on. Obviously, the play-in games later tonight in the NBA with the Western Conference going tonight. So plenty to get to. We'll do all of that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York. But many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. If you're just now joining us, if you tuned in hoping to hear the sweet voice of David Kellum, and now you're stuck with me, I hate it for you, but that game has been delayed. They're in a delay. It sounds like probably around 6:30 or 7 is what I'm hearing. Hopefully we have a more definite answer before we get off air. But they're trying to let that storm come through that they've got going on in Jonesboro right now and try to get that game in. So if you're looking for the Ole Miss radio, Ole Miss baseball pregame, that will come later. But Brett, plenty to talk about during what's trending. We talked a lot about the play-in games earlier. Dan, I think that's going to kind of be the center of attention in the sports world tonight because of those
I say good night.
I good night. And I mean, it makes it even better because you have those big teams in the Lakers and the Warriors.
Yeah, Hall of Fame laden teams. And my question, I think I know the answer to, out of the 4 teams tonight, who do you think in their locker room they're thinking, all right, we catch a wave. We start a a conference finals run tonight. Well, it's got to be the Lakers. And that's led by LeBron James, and they didn't come out of this spot last year, but they came from back of the pack last year to get to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think it's the Pelicans, and I don't think it's Sacramento, and I don't think seriously, legitimately, Golden State can dream that.
No, I don't think so. But, I mean, certainly the Lakers, and we've seen teams do it. We've seen teams come from the play-in tournament and go on long runs and get pretty deep in the playoff, even though it's still relatively new. So I do think that is out there, and I do think there are teams that have that expectation, especially if you go out and win tonight. I think if you win tonight, you feel good about it. Okay, we're the 7th seed. We play the 2. Now, in the Western Conference tonight, you might not feel as good about it because you have to see the Denver Nuggets. But certainly, I think the Lakers should have that in mind.
I want New Orleans rocking tonight. I want them to get playoff fever and start establishing that route because I think someday that could be the natural great rival for the Grizzlies if the Grizzlies remain in the West.
Sure. Yeah, well.
But if the Grizzlies go east, New Orleans could go east too.
That's true. That's true. So, yeah, I mean, maybe – and I think we've been talking about that for really since that draft of – maybe even before, but certainly since the draft of Ja and Zion, it was kind of, look at this. This just feels like a perfect fit for a rivalry, and it really hasn't worked out. But, hey, maybe with what they've got going, with what the Grizzlies will have next year, maybe that's something that, becomes more of a rivalry-type series.
And we've wanted it, and the league, wants both Memphis and New Orleans. They want it to make it in football country, in the South, in the heart of football country. They want both places to make it. And, Bryant, I wouldn't suggest doing this. This would be a gamble that city leaders and government officials just could not risk. But this is one reason why you could. If you wanted to stare the Grizzlies down, and they're not going to. They're going to get the money for refurbishing, and most of this is without tax increase. But there's been tax money involved. But anyway, if you wanted to stare the league down and go, nah, we're not giving you anything.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
That's a good question.
When you're trying to expand, and those owners want those expansion fees.
Yeah.
They don't want franchise moving.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we've learned emphatically there's never going to be any retraction. There's never going to be any contraction. I'm sorry. There's never going to be anybody contract. There's never going to be a team dissolved. If the Tampa Bay Rays haven't managed to be dissolved in baseball, it's not going to happen. You look at the case right now, and we just hadn't had time to get to it, of the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
I swear I think I'm writing this. I'm not trying to jab them. I think this is accurate. I think they have been in more bankruptcy issues, different people with bankruptcies, than they have had playoff series wins.
I believe it.
In their franchise history. And they're not being contracted. They're going to Utah.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to Salt Lake City.
And I hate it.
And hockey's going to expand.
Sure.
So both New Orleans and Memphis, if anybody just ever really got down on us, you could stand them down with, what are you going to do to us?
Sure.
You're not contracting us,
right?
And we're not you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. And oh man, yeah, I don't even want to get into the Arizona Coyotes situation because
it's sad
so much. I hate it. It made me so mad when I saw it.
When I went to an Arizona Coyote New York Rangers game.
How about that?
Saw my first hat trick at it.
Wow.
And first fight in the stands.
Wow.
In the same night. They played in an arena right by State Farm Stadium out there at Glendale.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was like booking.com arena.
Love that. That's great.
But it was built to host them.
Yeah.
They never had any attachment with the area.
Right.
Played the last 2 years at Arizona State.
That's right. Yeah.
And they're gone. They come back next year as Utah whatevers.
Yeah. So that's weird story all around.
The whole lineage of that franchise is very star-crossed. Weren't they the Atlanta Thrashers?
They were. Yeah, that's right.
And that didn't work.
No,
and that was the
work.
second time that hockey didn't work in Atlanta. And I think we're going to try it again, aren't we?
A lot of people want them to try it again. I'm not one of them. I think if it's failed twice,
At some point, don't you have to read your market and think it has spoken?
Brett, you would think so, but
I know people are just by the day moving to the Sunshine States, and the population growth of all the South, and particularly of Charlotte and Atlanta and Florida and Huntsville, Alabama, boomtown. It's absolutely boomtown. Nashville, but I don't think they're coming in. And anyone demanding we want hockey in Atlanta.
No, nobody's is running up and down the streets of Atlanta saying, you know what, I don't like the Falcons, I don't like the Braves, I don't like the Hawks. You know what this city needs?
Yeah.
Hockey.
Man, I don't think nobody's saying that.
Nobody's doing that.
And Brian, and not just because it's my big love. You know what I think Atlanta is?
College town. Or college city.
If you fill in the blank, Atlanta is
you're absolutely right.
College football town,
especially right now.
Yeah.
And look at everything they host between the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Next year they're going to host SEC championship game. They will have the Peach Bowl and then stand alone the College Football Playoff National Championship game.
Wow.
Man.
And the guy that spearheads all of it, Gary Stoken, been on all our shows a lot of times with various people through the years at SEC Media Days and at other events, and a great guy. He's the Pied Piper of we're college football town, and it is, and that's what it is. Chuck Oliver, a very popular talk radio show host in Atlanta, he made the decision several years ago. He does nothing but college football 365. That's it.
Wow.
I mean, a few weeks ago, his show tweeted out, and I thought, okay, if you can, but it is the time of year. it tweeted out, we're the only show today that's not talking bubble and brackets.
Wow.
We're talking college football because it can.
Sure. Absolutely. And so I think you're right. But certainly do not need hockey in Atlanta. I am completely
and there are places that love it. My friends in St. Louis love it. I think Nashville speaks for itself. I think it is loved there. When is the hockey season in? When do we do picks?
It's coming up.
I kind of should know this, shouldn't I?
I think Monday we'll probably do picks, or ish. I think next week.
They don't fire up Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, I don't think so because they still have games going up until Thursday.
Is this the first time we've talked hockey since we did hockey picks?
Brett, I think so.
Back on opening day, Johnny?
I think so.
Hey, man, I think it is.
Hey, last day of the year is Thursday.
NHL playoff start. Quick turnaround. They start on April 20th, so Friday we'll have to do hockey picks.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I got my hockey hat on.
That is
great.
Hey, Brett.
Goaltender's mask on, Johnny.
Hey,
you
Brett,
see it right now? I got it on right now.
Right,
yeah, I see. Hey, man, I got to go find me one, man.
You think I could take a puck off this mug?
Hey, Brett, I wouldn't suggest it.
Be careful saying puck and mug late in the day, too.
That's you can get a little
A lot of
hairy
other things
with that.
can come flying.
A lot of other things can be said.
Certainly got to be careful with that.
Watch the old puck and mug at 5:43.
Yeah.
Proof we're having live radio, isn't it?
Sure, yeah. Proof that that we were not prepared for this segment. No, I'm kidding. But
John Varley's text me, what time will the hockey picks be? Come on, John.
No, John, I mean, John, we want your hockey
Thank you, John.
picks.
Yeah, we want his hockey
appreciate
picks.
this for John. I think you kind of patted us on the head, but thank you, John.
I think so. But no, I'm shocked though that we've got hockey on playoff hockey on Saturday. I'm telling you, look, and this is
will your Kraken make it?
They will not. And that's one reason I wore my.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I wasn't digging. I wasn't digging.
It's okay. It's okay. I've already gotten past it, Brett. I'm already over.
It's okay. It's okay, Brett.
We're trying to work through it. I got you.
That point in my life was 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So
they were eliminated that long ago.
It's not been a good season.
I'm sorry, Brian.
It's okay.
We should have been here for
a
you.
lot of young players, so that's why I'm wearing my
Brett, do you
hockey
got the
sweater
tissue?
today. Because I know next week I can wear my Toronto sweater a lot.
I didn't read the rest of John's text. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
What time will hockey picks be? I want to make sure I'm listening to music instead.
well then, John, we don't want your hockey picks.
Yeah, we don't need them. We don't
need that negativity.
Now, hold on. Now, we can't run off listeners. Sorry, John.
I know. I love John. But yes. I forgot where I was going. Oh,
you was elimination of the crowd.
This is and I'll do it again when we make hockey picks. And John, I hope you're still listening. If you do not watch hockey, playoff hockey, entirely different animal. I mean, watch it once.
I do agree.
You will not turn away. I mean, it's great. It's great.
Brett, what you say? What you say?
I hear that, and then I try to watch, and it
looks
the same.
It looks the same.
I mean, it's the same old hairy animal.
Well, I mean, you got to playoff hockey, different animal. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I went to hockey playoffs a few years ago in St. Louis and froze to death.
Well, it is
man.
cold.
I hear it's
wore shorts to playoff hockey in May and froze to death. My teeth were chattering.
Bad idea. Well, hey, I mean, there is ice out there. They're playing on ice. I mean, what do you expect?
I was never so glad to leave the building.
Hey, Brett, I can't do that cold. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do the cold.
I told Johnny earlier, from October 1 on, I packed long johns and a overcoat.
I know that's right. But we need to get to a break, and when we come back, we're wrapping today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile power powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, I've learned a couple of things today. The first being that Ole Miss baseball game has been delayed today. It looks like pregame planning for 7 o'clock. So if you're wanting to listen to that, we'll have pregame and complete coverage of that game starting at 7 o'clock. But the other thing I learned today, it sounds like the USA basketball team for the Paris Olympics has been set. It was announced last night. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, Ant Edwards, and Tyrese Halliburton would make up the first 11 spots. They were going to leave one spot open. But now, earlier this afternoon, it was announced that Kawhi Leonard will fill that 12th spot. So I like Team USA's chances in Paris.
Howard, could you win with that team? Could you go to Paris and win the gold medal with you as head coach?
Absolutely. 100%.
I don't think there's any doubt.
No doubt at all.
I think there's 100,000 people that could.
I agree.
So if Steve Kerr doesn't, what do we say and do?
I think a lot of people are frustrated. I think we have a lot of questions for him.
We sure do, but I don't think there's any chance.
No, I don't think we got to worry about that.
I mean, that is the dreamiest of dream teams, isn't it?
Yo,
that made top original.
We had that conversation
really
today with me and John Harden.
Good stuff.
And we
I heard
think
that. I'm
maybe
stealing from y'all.
Yeah, how about that?
Well, the radio, just borrowing from friends.
That's right.
What I learned today was the passing of the great Whitey Herzog brought back a lot of fond memories for so many people. Rivalries with the Mets and the Giants, and trips to St. Louis with friends, and NLCS, and go crazy folks. And in that time in the 80s, Jack Buck and Mike Shannon at the top of their game, and World Series wins. The White Rat, he personified Cardinals baseball. The 80s were so much fun. You just knew at 92 and so frail on opening day that we could be seeing him for the last time, and sadly we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Super sad to see earlier this morning. Well, what I could have done without the transfer portal is now back open for college football players, and already from my count, 3 Tigers have entered the portal. Earlier this morning, last year's starting cornerback Diego Brumfield entered the transfer portal. He led the Tigers in pass breakups a year ago. He has 1 year of eligibility left. I believe this spring's been competitive, and he knew he wasn't going to have the starting job. We talked about it earlier. Jay Ducker was kind of getting lost in that running back group. And then Maurice Hampton, local guy that played at MUS.
Started at LSU. Started his college career at LSU.
Playing both football and basketball and baseball for them. He was here last year, and it looks like he will enter the transfer portal. So already 3 names. I'm sure that list will grow. It will grow for everybody around the country. This is how this transfer portal ends up.
Brace yourself, everybody. You're going to lose somebody you wanted to keep. You're going to get somebody you probably weren't expecting. It all comes around, it goes around. I could have done without this. Whether Rory McIlroy goes to live, or even the rumor of Scotty Scheffler after his wife has their baby, or if Tiger Woods goes and everything gets well all of a sudden, or if Jack Nicklaus goes and he becomes 40 again, or if Ludwig Oberg goes.
There you go.
I'm still not going to watch. It's meaningless golf. Yeah. 54 holes of goofy.
It sure is that. And you even hear current guys saying, I wish they would go to 72 holes. I wish we would get away from this, 50 whatever they're playing. Where are you beaming tonight?
New Orleans, basketball and Galatoire's. Give me the French Quarter and a vibe the Pelicans could really cash in on if they ever have playoff success. They've never been to the Western Conference Finals, and they've had very little postseason success.
Yeah, it's been rough, but hey, maybe something can change tonight. Those will be 2 really fun games. Beam me to that second game, Sacramento and Golden State. I mentioned it earlier. That season series is tied 2-2 right now, but 3 of the 4 games have come down to 1 point, so that should be a thriller.
And if they do play baseball in Jonesboro, Mike Bianco going for win number 1,000 as a college coach, it would be win number 900 at Ole Miss. Incredible. That's a record that will never be broken.
That is just incredible stuff. Well, that's all the time we have today. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
The countdown is on for the 2024 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light. Catch all 7 rounds, 3 days, live from Detroit. April 25th to 27th with NFL Network Draft coverage presented by Verizon. And on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and streaming on NFL Plus. It all starts Thursday, April 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Visit NFL.com/draft for more information. Brought to you by Visa. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With MyLowe's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253.